Welcome back to Impulse Plays after quite a bit of a break. It's been probably almost 2 weeks at this point, but I've got a very special guest with me, Chris Tolar, aka Ten Arms. How you doing, man?
Hey, thanks, Carl. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. We got a sweet matchup between blue white TideStill and green white Enchantress. So of course I have to have the great Ten Arms on for an Enchantress match. So just makes sense. I mean, I think it's a law. I don't know. The laws are a little bit wonky right now, but I think it's a law
If
that
it
we have it
isn't,
on.
if it isn't one now, it should be.
For sure,
So,
for sure. So let's take a look at
I'm
this. Oh,
always down to talk about
yeah, exactly. So yeah, so let's go into the first. Well, I said we were gonna start with Tide Still. We'll get into our dessert first. Let's talk about the Enchantress deck. So we've got Josh O's Green White Enchantress, and it is pretty spicy. It's not your typical Enchantress. It's missing a few cards that I expect, but mostly like in the numbers. So Chris, tell me what you think about this based on what you would typically expect to see.
Yeah, this is an interesting list. So, first things first, as I always look at the mana. Looks like Josh is on 22 lands, if my math is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's seven forests, typical three sanctum, typical
Yeah.
four brushlands, but he's on four plains and then the four heaths. So
Mm-hmm.
I've gone back and forth between 21 and 22 myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can get away with 21, and it prevents you from kind of breaking off once you get the chain going.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on the metagame, like if it's really like land destruction heavy, the extra land is actually really helpful. So
Yeah.
I think that there's pros and cons for each one. That's totally fine. This is nothing like super crazy. What's interesting that I'm seeing in this list is three Sterling Groves, it looks
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
which is, and it's usually a four. Most people,
Yep.
I think, consider that a staple.
That's what Josh
Um,
said too.
you
Yep.
know, yeah, and you know me, I'm probably the biggest Miri's Guile fan of all time, except for maybe one of the other Enchantress guys,
Mike Packer,
Dula.
I think, is pretty big into it too.
Who?
Mike Packer, Marine
Oh,
Biomancer.
yeah,
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 I
yeah, yeah.
think he's super into
Yeah, yeah,
Fort. Yeah,
we've been chatting about it a bit too, yeah.
yeah.
So those numbers are a little different, but it looks like that those were trimmed to make room for not just elephant grass or swords to plowshares, but both of those.
Right.
So this looks like kind of like a metagamed list to me, where
Mm-hmm.
Josh potentially knows what the metagame looks like and knows like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm expecting to see a bunch of goblins or elves
Yep.
or burn or something like that, and I just want to be ultra prepared for these kind of go wide decks.
Yep.
So that's kind of like the thing that stands out to me is these. If you're cutting these cards to make room for extra anti-creature
There's
stuff,
a
it's
reason.
probably because you
Yeah.
have a reason.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you notice the Decree of Justice in the sideboard there?
Well, yeah, let's get to the sideboard here. I want to go
Yeah.
I want to go left to right because it
Sure.
looks like the spiciest stuff is on the right, and I want to get to that
Save the
last.
best for last. Okay, that's
Three
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So three Tormod's Crypts is basically a huge statement. They're basically saying like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yo, dog, I just do not want to lose to Replenish or Reanimator."
Mm-hmm.
I think Reanimator is a good matchup. Angry Hermit is probably the like secretly the scarier graveyard-based deck for
Yeah.
Enchantress
Yeah.
because it's so fast. Um, the Tin Fins deck is also fast, but I feel like with a main like this, it's so
He's
hard to
got Elephant
lose.
Grass and Swords of Plowshares. Like that's 6 1 mana answers for a black creature trying to attack you.
Right, and you also have confinement and worship,
Mm-hmm.
and that deck literally just cannot beat a parallax wave unless they have a chain of vapor.
Yep.
So anyway, it's a whole thing. So Tormod's Crypt is, I think, mostly for replenish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always a slam dunk for replenish because they can just abeyance you or stifle it,
Right.
before they want to do their thing. But
Right.
yeah. So anyway, Tormod's Crypt is a card that I've had in and out of my sideboard myself,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like Josh is like making a very bold statement. The
Mm-hmm.
the Swords to Plowshares that just fills out the fourth one. That's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah.
Free Abeyance. This was a version that I had in the Super League where I
Mm-hmm.
had I think it was that version where I had Abeyance because I knew what my pod was. And
Right.
Abeyance is just such a good card though that
It
I
really
don't
is.
think it's actually incorrect to play it in just like a regular event.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
um
I know Rich Shea
so yeah,
plays a
you
lot
got the one
in Replenish, so it's definitely got legs for a lot of different decks. It's definitely underrated.
Oh, totally. And you know, Rich is always thinking outside of the box, and
Hmm.
whereas other people are just on, you know, the straight four Orms chant in that deck,
Hmm.
he's like, I'm gonna split the difference because
Hmm.
Abeyance has utility elsewhere.
It does, yeah.
And yeah, so I actually like that diversification. It actually makes the matchup even more unwinnable for me, so I hate that part about it,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
love that Rich is always thinking about it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so Seal of Cleansing, Sacred Ground, Karmic Justice, you know, Sphere of Law, those are all cards that I usually have, like, you
Yeah.
know, in and out of my sideboard. The one thing that I'm seeing here is like you've got these like artifact silver bullets, but I don't see any enlightened tutors to go find them, so you're kind of just like hoping to draw them
And
randomly.
not consider that. Yeah, that's a
Which
good point. Yeah.
I'm not super stoked on that part about it. I usually like those like artifact silver bullets more when I can tutor for them.
Hmm.
But the two spicy things that are happening in the sideboard, um, well, one is the Decree of Justice, which I've had before, and I've liked it. There's definitely, you know, I like that there could be like a third win condition, and you can ambush some meddling mages
Hmm.
during combat, and they're just gonna probably just straight up die. But the spicy card is this Null Chamber.
Yep. Yep. Null
That
Chamber, for
card,
those that I honestly forgot what it was and didn't have it in the sideboard, so I'm adding it now. So yeah, Chris, tell us what Null Chamber is.
yeah. So basically, you both name a card,
Hmm.
and it's kind of like a each person gets to have a meddling mage,
Hmm.
and it's an enchantment, and basically players just can't play that that named card.
Yep, it's pretty
So
sweet. It's pretty sweet.
it's pretty sweet. So the cool thing about this is if you get Opal Wave going,
Hmm.
you can actually blink the Null Chamber out
Yeah.
and and rename if you need to,
Yep.
which is
Yep.
super sick.
Rename the Tranquil
Um,
Domain instead of the Seal Cleansing or whatever, and then yeah.
yeah. Depending on which stage of the game it is, like maybe you name something that's, you know, gonna be better for you early, and then
Hmm.
once you get to like a later point, you're like, okay, well, like the bigger thing to name now is this other card,
Yeah.
and you can just reset it. Chances are, if you have Opal Wave going, you probably already won the game. But
I mean, I mentioned
yeah.
Tranquil Domain
Anyway,
by name because Tranquil Domain is a very popular card in sideboards in our area. So, having an ability to just shut that down without having to worry about replenish, I think is really powerful.
yeah, and one of the things that I like about that is if you're playing against a control deck
Hmm.
that has Wrath of God,
Hmm.
you can have the Null Chamber name Wrath of God on their turn, and then
Hmm.
once you get to their end step, you can blink the Null Chamber and name something completely
Like
different.
counterspell or something, right?
Um,
Yeah.
exactly. So there's like some really cool tricks that you can do with it. I've actually never tested this card myself, but it has always been on this like long list
The
of
long
cards
list of
that I've
things to do.
wanted to get
Yeah.
around.
There's so many sweet cards
Yeah.
and not enough time in this format. I get it.
Yeah, stupid work and life getting in the way of my
I
magic
know.
time that
I
I
know.
already spend an irresponsible amount of time on. But yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
this looks sweet. I like a lot of this. I think my favorite thing about this deck is the three abeyances in the
Yeah.
sideboard, which I think is just like it solves a lot of really like unintuitive problems, like being
Hmm.
able to cast it in response to a parallax tide so
Yep.
that they don't get to use it, and then you can seal it, or like
Yeah.
you have like a parallax wave in play, and then your opponent just goes like all in on a huge replenish,
Yep.
and then you just abeyance them in response, and now their opalescence has turned on your wave, and you get to opal wave their whole board, and now you've won the game. Like there's just so many cool things that you can do with it.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. So you actually mentioned Parallax Tide. I think that's a good choice, good way to segue into our second deck, which is my buddy Ben's blue white land still, but with Parallax Tide. So we often call it Tide Still. So you got a lot of
Yeah.
blue cards to draw cards, ways to control the board, control what your opponent's doing, and then you've got this neat little Parallax Tide Chain of Vapor Stifle combo you see in the middle to Armageddon your opponent, take all their lands away, and then you just kind of do what you want from there. I know you have some thoughts on this as well.
The first thing that I want to mention about this is you can see the journey that Ben is on to get everything signed,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that there are some of these cards that are shadow signed, and they've turned out so
Yeah.
well. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the Foglio ones, like the
Mm-hmm.
Humility and the Factories, like
Mm-hmm.
A plus. Like these are good. This deck is gonna be so gorgeous when it's completely done.
So much more, I should say. So much more.
I mean, it's already pretty hot. Like I'm already
Yeah.
sweating a little bit. Like,
Yep. Yep.
but yeah, these are great. So let's go for the main first. So this looks like a pretty typical, this looks like a pretty typical land still list. But
Yeah.
then it has it just has those five cards in the middle there, the two tides, the two chains, and the stifle,
Hmm.
and that makes it extremely annoying for Enchantress because Tide is
Hmm.
just such a good card against it. Like
Yes.
Stifle, whatever. Chain of Vapor, whatever. Like, sure,
Hmm.
bounce my enchantment back and let me
I'll draw three
replay
more
and
cards.
draw
Yeah, sounds
another
good. Yeah.
card. Yeah, yeah, totally. Like Humility, like, all right, can kind of be annoying, but you've got like seals in there. Like, it's fine. But Parallax Tide is like literally the only, really like the only card that actually matters.
Hmm.
And just having enough counters to stop like early enchantress development. So, you can have this like start where you're like, oh man, like I resolved my enchantress, I played my exploration, and I got
Hmm.
all these lands in play,
Yep.
and then they're just like, not your day, buddy, and then they just, tide combo you,
Yep.
and then now you're just dead in the water and the
Yep.
game's
Yep.
pretty much over. So
Yeah, exactly.
that makes it really difficult. I'm personally not a major fan of standstill in these decks.
Hmm.
I think it's fine, but I like playing at instant speed, and
Hmm.
I if I were to play a deck like this, which I'm not above, I do have like really really passionate feelings about Parallax Tide as a card. I don't think it asks really anything of the caster, and it's just objectively insanely powerful.
It
Like
is
I
very good.
typically
Yeah.
don't like cards like that. It's
Yeah.
just it's not really interesting. It's just purely good.
Yep.
So I don't usually like cards like that. But if I were to play this deck, I would probably do the AK package
That's what
instead.
Ben has done in the
Which
past. He tends to move cards around a lot, and in this case, he's just playing
yeah,
standstill. But he has in the past played a lot of AKs.
yeah, AK is just like I love that this is a format where AK can be good. I have
Hmm.
lots of great memories playing AK in Vintage like many years ago,
Yep.
and the fact that there's like a format for it just makes my heart smile.
Yep. I'm here for
But
that.
overall, this looks like a solid. I mean, here's my thought: Enchantress versus Landstill, overwhelmingly in Enchantress's favor.
Hmm.
But if you start putting stuff like Tide in there, then it's
Yep.
like, okay, now it's actually way harder.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's move to the sideboard. It looks like he's actually pretty ready for this matchup because he's got an Enlightened Tutor to
Hmm.
go find certain pieces. He can go find the
Like the Aura
tide.
of
He's got
Silence.
Aura of
Yeah.
Silence. Oh my god, that card is so good against Enchantress. It's
Hmm.
nutty. Um, and then you've got the three annuls.
Yep.
So one of the best ways that Enchantress can get under a control deck like this is to ramp turn one with Wild Growth or Exploration,
Get
and
under
then
counter spell.
sneak
Yeah.
an Enchantress underneath a counter spell,
Yeah.
or like double spell in one turn,
Hmm.
but a null kind of like throws that whole thing off,
Yeah.
depending on the timing of it.
Hmm.
So if I were to play against a land still deck, this is the type of version of that deck that I would not want to play against because there's just so many annoying things.
Yep.
And I don't know if I'm assuming these players don't know each other's exact lists, but if
Yeah.
even
No.
if they did,
Mm.
even if they did, seeing the numbers, it's like, okay, well, you've got one stifle. Do you play around it?
Right.
Is it correct to play around it? They've only got three annuls. Do you play around it? Like,
Hmm.
so it's really difficult when you have such a wide spread of like different cards that do different things, but they have overlap where it's
Right.
like, well, if I play this card right now and all they have is Seal, I can play that attrition game.
Hmm.
But if I don't play this and they have Aura of Silence, then I might not be able to function.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like
There's a lot.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of
A lot of back and forth, which is one of the things I love about this format. Is it's not just like. I mean, sometimes it's like LOL. I cast Parallax Tide and tide all your lands. That's game. But more
sure.
often than not, there is I present threat, you present answer. I present threat, you present answer, and it goes back and forth a
Yes,
lot. Like a
yes,
lot.
yes.
And these are
Yeah,
both
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
very good decks for managing that kind of gameplay.
Yeah, yeah, and this is one of the matchups where I really like bringing in Sabo's web too.
Hmm.
You don't have like a lot of targets, but there's still seven targets, and depending on how the draws line up,
Yeah.
you might be able to just lock them down. Like
Hmm.
I've definitely had some games where they went like turn one Fairy Conclave, turn two Mishra's Factory Standstill Go, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll break that. You can draw 3 cards. Like, here's a Sabo's Web.
Yeah.
By the way, I recouped that and I drew a card too.
Also
And
double stone range
then
you.
they're yeah, 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 and it's just like I double stone range you, and I got to replace my card for the trouble. Yeah, so
Yep.
it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of nuance in a match like this, so I'm pretty excited to jump in
For sure.
here.
Yeah, let's hop in. Yeah, so we've got Josh on the left playing his Enchantress deck and Ben on the right. We have a little bit of a staggering with the frames. There was some sort of weird issue with the recording, but it smooths out, everybody. Don't worry. Looks like both players on moles to 6. We try to illustrate that with the dice in the center. And like you said, Josh is looking to get those 1 mana ramp spells to kind of get underneath the counter spells from Ben, and Ben is trying to land Parallax Tide. So, one player is actively trying to do interesting things, and then Ben is trying to cast Parallax Tide.
You're right. Yeah, so I see a confinement, a seal. It looks like there was a
I
sanctum.
like sending confinement to the
Okay,
bottom
the
there.
confinement to the bottom. Yeah, that card is not really good in this. It's not what this match is about,
Yeah.
really.
Josh does have an
Kind of
Enchantress, but he doesn't have
beautiful,
any ramp. He does have a
kind of
Miri's
beautiful
Guile, despite not
substitution
playing 4.
seal. Yeah, that's lucky.
Yeah, it
That's
really
just
is.
gonna the card selection that's gonna give him over the course of this game is
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
yeah.
Ooh,
All right, so Ben's holding
Sterling
up
and a
Mana
land.
Leak or Impulse or both.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the great things about that blue-white deck is even when you're playing Standstill, it still has enough instant speed things to actively do stuff on your opponent's turn, even if they don't play into your counter magic.
Exactly.
So does he just jam the
Okay.
Enchantress here? I think that's what Josh is trying to think about. It looks like he
I'm just
does.
jamming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
And
just
Ben doesn't have
jamming.
the mana leak, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many times where they just have like their only counterspell is counterspell,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually don't have mana leak, and they're like bluffing it, and you're just like, yeah, I call, and I think
Yep.
you should just be aggressive every time and just jam it because
Agreed.
if it lives, they're only out for it as Wrath of God, and you will just get so much card advantage, and this is a
Mm-hmm.
card advantage focused match, right? Like
Yes, very
we're
much so.
not trying to like attack early; it's just about resources, you know.
Yep. Although
Oh
Ben is
wow.
attacking early.
Yeah. So that's actually preferable, right? Like
Yep.
shields are down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shields are down. That means there's no counterspell, and Josh can just kind of go nuts. I mean, there's no foil, there's no daze.
Yep.
All right,
Although he
there's
is not hitting a lot of
this is
gas here. Like he's got a couple of enchantments that he's going to be able to cast. The lands he's
yeah,
got.
he can play Sterling Grove, draw a card, and then use the Sanctum to play the seal that's on the left side of his hand, and
Yeah.
then like that shuts down Standstill and
Actually, slows
the
down Mishra's
factory,
Factory too.
the
Yeah,
Enchantress.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
And then next turn you can try and jam that Opalescence and start attacking for 1 with a Miri's Guile, which does not seem very good. I would not recommend doing that in this situation.
Yeah, in a match like this where you know that they're probably on, uh, you see the factory, you see the attic or waste, you're like, all right, this is like a landstill deck. You do not want your whole board to just get blown up by Wrath of God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, here we
Yep.
go. He's doing the thing that we
Oh,
said,
he's gonna get so
drawing
much
a
card advantage
card.
here. That's +2.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I'll add in post
Okay.
like a card advantage counter. Just a little ding 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 as it comes up.
Played against a landstill player one time, and I let him break 2 standstills.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna let you draw these cards. I'm like, let's see who can draw more cards. And it was like me 3-1.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah. If the
and,
Enchantress player
and
is able to keep their Enchantresses around, yeah, it's gonna be game over pretty quick.
yeah.
And that's what I'm looking at here
Yeah, see.
is Josh has got that Enchantress active. Ben does not have one of his 2 Wrath of Gods or a Humility to shut down the Argothian. And even if he did Humility, he would get shut down by the Steel Cleansing. So Ben is definitely on the back foot here.
Yeah. So he actually has Wrath of
Oh, he
God
does have
mana
Wrath of
here,
God.
which
I'm
is
sorry. Okay, yeah. I guess. Ooh, man,
I don't know
that's
if he's got
rough.
it. I can't tell if he's got it in his
He
hand,
does. Yeah,
but
it's in his hand. I just saw it. Yeah.
I
And
would I would
I think
I
he
would
got
slam
to.
that Wrath of
Yeah.
God right now.
Oh, he did not. Okay, interesting.
Oh, he's not. Oh wow. Okay.
I think he's trying to just get in with these Mishra's factories and put some pressure on. Which I don't know if it's going to work out great, but we will certainly find out.
Maybe he's trying to bait Josh into using a seal on one of the factories so that he can resolve like a standstill next turn. If he
Yeah,
activates both factories, it's different. If he only activates one, then it almost seems like he's trying to bait
it's
him
trying to trap
into
him. Yeah. Oh, he has a
trap him.
tide.
Yeah.
Never
'Cause
mind. Okay.
oh,
Okay,
okay.
so he's running that out.
I don't like running the tide out here
I
though.
think he realized he doesn't like running it out either.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
He's like, about
Yeah,
that.
because
Let's not do that there.
you need another blue and at least a stifle or a
Oh,
chain
he
to
has a
make
seal
that work.
cleansing, but Josh has Sterling Grove. Oh man, this seal cleansing on Josh's side with the Stirring Glove is so powerful because Ben has seal plus tide. So for folks that are not super aware of how this works, Parallax Tide has an ability to remove lands by removing counters from itself, and then when it dies, you get all your lands back. But if you stack it such that you activate all the Parallax Tide abilities to target your opponent's lands and then kill it, they don't get their lands back. So
Yeah.
Ben wants to do that with his seal cleansing, but if Ben drops the Parallax Tide, Josh can respond with his own Seal Cleansing and kill Ben's Seal Cleansing. And I've said Seal Cleansing
Yeah.
so many times it's lost all meaning to me, but that's gonna stop Ben from doing his combo. It's oh man, this is such an incredible early board state.
Yeah, and so Ben will obviously crack his seal to target the Sterling Grove, and then he
Mm-hmm.
just stacks the Sterling Grove to tutor. So it
Mm-hmm.
just ends up working out completely fine in Josh's favor. So he had
Yeah.
I think he had
Josh was
a
tapped out last turn, so Ben could have gone for the seal on the Sterling Grove, but did
yeah.
not. I don't maybe he just forgot how it worked. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like an okay play, but I think if he can
It also means that Josh has to seal Ben's seal if he plays Tide. So I think it's actually kind of heads up to not do that. Like have like it looks like he has
yeah.
a free kill on the Sterling Grove, but Josh wants to stop that Tide at all, and Ben can just drop the Tide,
Yeah.
do an honest Tide for a couple turns, and then see if he can
Yeah,
pull
yeah,
ahead
yeah.
from there.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a stifle or like a chain to go
Mm-hmm.
along with it, it may just be like
Just time walk. Yeah.
like just like a 2 or 3 turn time walk kind of situation. But
Yeah.
yeah, Josh's hand is not great right now.
No, it is not.
TBH.
No.
Yeah, grass is not really the kind of card you want to see. Okay, he drew a worship.
That's cute.
I would play that.
Yeah.
I would just play that right now. Yeah, he even gets to have 1 mana left over, which is cool. And the
Mm-hmm.
important thing is that he gets to keep the brush land open in case
Mm-hmm.
he needs to crack the Sterling Grove, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, he drew another seal.
Oof.
Oh my
Oh
god.
boy. Okay, that's not what Ben wants to see.
Yeah. So now he is tapped out, so the Grove can go away, but like who cares? Like
Yeah.
he-
Yeah, I think
double
Josh is okay
double
with two for
seal.
oneing himself here because he's already 2 for 1 off of each of those enchantress or all those each of those
Yeah,
enchantments.
yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's there was a point where it was like, oh, maybe Ben can like swing the advantage counter over into his favor, but
Mm-hmm.
now finding that second seal is so huge.
Yep. And he has the Sarah
Okay, three of a
Sanctum with tons
kind.
of mana. It's just
God,
Josh's.
those
I think
factories look
the
so
Avenger is
good.
pretty far on Josh's side. Oh, he has this the oh that's heartbreaking. He has the Chain of April, but he doesn't have the third blue source to bring
Yeah.
it back.
So if he had the blue source, then this game is
Very different.
not over. 'Cause I think it's very different, but I think that there is a backup Sanctum in Josh's
There is
hand,
now,
if I
yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Just grab the
yeah,
presents,
you
yeah.
just play, you just play that Enchantress. Like
Oh,
he can
Josh forgot his
even hold
enchantments.
back.
Josh's like, I don't care about these elephant grasses. That's fine. They're dead.
Technically, they're not dead. It's just Ben's opportunity to remind him that they go on the stack, and then
That's true.
Josh can choose to pay.
Yep.
It's not like the old Tabernacle rule
Mm-hmm.
where, or the
The
Peace rule where
Masticore.
if you
Yeah.
forget, you're yeah, it's not like that anymore.
Yep. I like that
Unfortunately,
change a lot. I like that change a lot.
I kind of like people being punished for not remembering personally, because
Yeah, it's fair. I mean,
this is
it's a competitive
this is a
game. You have to
political
keep track of
conversation.
things. Yeah.
your responsibility to remember, and then I think it just not being punished for forgetting kind of rewards sloppy play.
Sure. There is
That
definitely
and there
some
are
issues with like intentionally forgetting triggers and like, oh yeah, oh whoops, I forgot about
correct.
it, and you do that enough times, like
There's exactly, yeah. Not that I don't think anyone here is doing that.
no,
Pre-modern's
no,
typically a pretty casual, like good guy format,
yep,
but in other formats like modern, I
yeah,
deal. Anyway, in other formats that are competitive, like you can start getting into that. So it's a
yeah,
controversial topic. Either way, he probably was never paying for those grasses
no way,
anyway.
yep, he's fine with them being in
You
the
can
graveyard.
like you can pay for one because it's still mana neutral with Sanctum, but once
Mm-hmm.
you get past one counter, you can just let it go.
Yeah, yeah,
The three seals is just like incredible here. Like
yeah.
this is
Yeah, Ben is not gonna be
this
able.
is
Ben is not gonna be able to actuate his game plan at all. Like he can't tide, he can't attack with Mishra's Factories. Like there's just nothing he's really able to do. Like this is the point of the game where you want to concede to the Enchantress player because they don't have the actual win out yet, and you might be able to
yeah.
win, but it's such a low percentage. And so I mean they're in the finals right now. They're
Yeah.
both 2-0, so might as well just go for it and see what happens.
Yeah. You never know.
That's it.
Let's
These
go
guys are
back
both
and
playing kind of slow decks, and the clock is not non-existent. Like it exists, and for Ben, I think he might want to be cognizant of the fact that if Josh takes 20 more minutes to win the game, Ben then has what like 30 minutes to win 2 games, which is not super easy for these slow blue white decks.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been in the position of the control player, like the Drago counterspell, remove your guy's control type of deck
Mm-hmm.
player, and you are at this point in game two where you probably can still win, but it's
Mm-hmm.
starting to slip away. And
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I have just been like, you know what, for time, I'm just gonna scoop,
Yep.
start on the play, and then and then I just have a great start, and then I just win game three, like just barely in the nick of
Yep.
time.
Yep.
It
People don't
is,
do that enough.
it's a,
Yep.
they don't do it enough. Yeah, I learned that because I used to not do
Yeah.
that.
Yep. I picked it up having played against Enchantress a number of times. Like and it's honestly the same with Stasis. Like people knock on these Enchantress and Stasis decks, like, oh, they're so slow. Like, well, yes, they take a little while to win, but you're in garbage time for 20 minutes, and whose fault is that? Like,
Yeah,
sure, they
you
can
can concede at any time.
exactly.
I wanna point out something that Josh just did. He
Mm-hmm.
moved the seal and the worship over to the left side of his enchantresses, and I
Mm-hmm.
think he's doing this to indicate which ones were in play at the
Have
beginning
summoning
of the
sickness.
turn and
Yeah.
which ones are new.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. I see no
this is
real
something
reason
to
to
take a
not
look.
go for the opalescence here. Like, I really like Josh can cast opalescence in response. Sacrifices like he can kill off the seal of cleansing, then sack his Sterling Grove when Ben tries to kill his Sterling Grove, get another Opalescence, and then cast both of them after his Enchantress triggers is all. But it looks like he's not doing that. Okay. I guess he's worried about he doesn't have enough for an Alpha Strike to just straight up win the game. And if Ben does have Wrath of God, like you
Exactly.
mentioned earlier, that just like wrecks things for him. So we got a nice
Yeah,
factor with some lands, a couple spells.
I would just separate lands and spells here, I think.
Yeah. I think
Yep,
I don't
looks like
know.
Josh
Like you
agrees.
could do that. Ben has got enough lands at this point. I would actually probably, yeah, I think the way Josh is splitting it was better. Put the fewer lands with the decree, and then the counterspell with the 2 lands that ultimately don't really matter all that much with the counterspell. I think I like that split. There's nothing wrong with doing lands and spells either. This is just what I would prefer to do, just because it's slightly fewer options for Ben. Again, not that those options really matter all that much. I think Ben's taking counterspell no matter what, but
If I were to do that, I would have done Plains and Counterspell, and then Strand Decree in the other one, so that he doesn't get to have an extra blue.
that's fair. That's very fair. That's very fair.
But
Again, I think we're
I
in
think,
garbage time here. It doesn't matter all that much.
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, these are like super nuances.
Oh, for sure.
And
Like
you could,
they're not exist. They're definitely like existent edges. Like they're very small edges, and those do add up over time.
they do, yeah, yeah.
So playing tight during your tournament play is super important in that regard. But when you're sitting in the finals, there's no more games left to play, and you need that time to win with your deck. I would very very heavily considers conceding here.
Is that Impulse at the top? Is that the prize for first place?
Yes, yes. Which I there is it is in one of the deck pictures that I'm going to cut out in post production so that the good audience does not see which player won with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I altered
I'm
that. I
already.
altered
I
that
have.
impulse for as a prize.
Yeah, yeah.
And then our buddy Chris put up a couple of Oro Senin altered 5th edition basics, which look really good. They're
Nice.
just black border 5th edition looks so, and he does such good work. Like it just looks they just look phenomenal.
With like the Posca
Yeah,
marker.
yep, yeah. He does like a spray. I think it's an interesting technique. It's not hard, but it's somewhat technically demanding, like in the the manner in which you do it. And he's just done it so many times it's rote for him. So hit up so
Okay,
he
so
may not want to hear that, but hit up Oro Sendin on the Discord if you're interested in getting some stuff blackboarded. He will do it for prize cards for his community because that's how he builds his community. It's pretty cool. All right, so yeah, Ben is
nice.
tiding, not going. Oh, he's going for this chain. Okay, yep, okay. And I think that's fine. I don't think Josh cares all that much about that. He's got a backup sanctum, like you said.
Yeah, and he's also got the exploration too. This is why
Mm-hmm.
exploration is so important because you can make. It's almost like you're starting like a. You're starting. Oh, see, I don't like letting him bring it back. You can start like a fake fight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't like letting him bring the parallax side back. Like
Mm-hmm.
you should steal it in response to the chain so that he doesn't get to do it again,
Right.
and then you can just rebuild.
Yeah. I mean, Ben at this
Um,
point will get to kill 10 lands, and that's
yeah,
not
that's bad.
gonna be ideal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? Unless he thinks that he can go for it this turn.
Oh, he's got double sanctum in his hand. Yeah, I mean, he might be able to go. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21 damage, but Ben has a blocker. And Ben is at 16. Yeah, so yeah, if Josh resolves the Opalescence, he just wins. Which it looks like he's going for because that's the only spell in
Yeah,
his
I didn't
hand.
actually do the math, so maybe just letting it happen is fine.
Yeah, it ended up not mattering, I think, because Ben tapped
Okay,
out.
because he's at 16. Yeah,
Yeah.
so 8, 9, 10, 11,
Ben can block
15, 8. Oh, yeah,
he can
yeah.
block
Okay.
4 and he
So
still
yeah,
takes
just letting
17.
it happen is fine.
Yeah.
Erase everything I said. Yeah, just letting it happen is fine. Because what's
It's
gonna happen is
yeah.
you need to yeah, could you want? I guess it's the same amount of damage if you seal the seal
Yeah.
and then crack the.
No, it's slightly less because he gets to kill the Sterling Grove. So actually Ben would live at 1, if I'm doing my math correctly, if Josh made that play. So um like he still probably would have won anyway, but it means that Ben is actually just straight up dead now. If he turns all his stuff sideways, which I think he's going to. Although he has the second Sterling Grove in that pile mistakenly.
Yeah,
Oh, is
yeah,
he
that
fixing it? Oh,
Sterling
he's fixing
Grove.
it. Good
Oh,
job, Josh. Way to maintain
nailed
the
it.
cleared board state. Love it. Love to see it.
Love it. Yeah,
3,
yeah,
6,
perfect.
7, 8, 12,
These board
13,
states
14,
can
15,
get
16,
very
17,
messy.
18.
I'm gonna tell you something
Oh, he's
that
sealing
may
here.
shock
Okay.
you.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be overwhelmed with huge board states,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the reasons that I actually got into Enchantress was because I knew that that was like a weakness of mine,
To
and I
train yourself,
wanted
yeah.
to pick a deck. I wanted to like force myself to grow and be better at that,
That's
and
awesome.
it's made my Magic playing better in everything.
That's awesome.
So
Good choice
yeah,
then, yeah.
getting out of your comfort zone is important.
All right, Josh is just playing with his
This
food at
game
this
is
point. He just needs to turn his enchantment sideways.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is like the Shivan Dragon, flavor text where he's just like playing with Ben,
Mm-hmm.
before delivering the final blow. Yeah,
He's just got. I mean, I love winning as much as anybody else, but he's got another game to get through, and that clock is real. We
yeah. At this point, he should just be what he should just be doing is he should just be sealing the seal to prompt Ben to use it on the grove because he wants to use the grove anyway, and
Mm-hmm.
then just use the grove to go find the wave, and then. But I guess it doesn't really matter. He
Yeah,
just
no,
yeah
it's fine. Yeah.
yeah
So, all right,
yeah.
so we're
Okay,
going into
cool.
game 2,
Game.
and I don't know if that's Josh's
We
mana
have
from last game or if he's mulliganing to 5. I guess we'll see.
okay.
I usually try to edit in a little message that says who mulligans to what, and then I stopped caring and stopped doing it. So that's me being
Yeah.
lazy. But we'll see. If Josh puts 2 cards back, then that's what he's mulliganing to. But if not, it's Okay, so it's like I'm old to 6. They
Okay,
just
only
didn't keep
one.
track of it.
That's fine. And
Yeah.
I think he's got an Enchantress, so and a Wild Growth, so I think that's okay.
Yep.
Now, noticeably, he does not have Xanad Swarm in his sideboard, which is like
Mm-hmm.
the best turn one play from Enchantress against a counterspell deck.
I'm a big fan of that
Because
card.
now, yeah, Xanad Swarm has completely changed the blue matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so imagine if that was, I mean, not that I'm hating on Mary's Gull, I love it, but
Of course.
probably, see, I think he's got an Abeyance in his hand. So he actually doesn't get to
Mm,
leverage the Abeyance until later.
yeah.
Um, I think what he's supposed to do here is play a land, Wild Growth one of the other lands,
Mm-hmm.
play Enchantress, use up a counter, and then next turn um, play Abeyance
The
into
other Enchantress.
Enchantress.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like he agreed. Okay, so he didn't use the Wild Growth. He's actually saving the Wild Growth
To draw
for
with.
probably a draw. Yeah.
Yeah. So how many
Yeah,
Xantid
but
Swarms would you play in your sideboard? Like I like in my Feb decks, my classic Feb decks, I should say I'm playing 3, but that's because I don't want to
yeah.
lose the counter spells. I don't know how you feel about that in Enchantress.
I've been on 2 and 3, and I think right now, 3 is the better number
Mm-hmm.
because Dreadnought is so popular,
Yeah.
and it will just
Got a
completely
mana leak.
win
Okay.
by itself.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Yeah, Xanadu
the
will
card's
just
very
win by
powerful.
itself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's just like their only answer to it is Chain of Vapor, and it's like, yeah, sure. Like,
Yeah, go nuts. Yep. You're
yeah,
certainly able to just lose a card for me casting this card one more time. And then you get to burn a counter spell on it. So I
right.
just get a 2 for 1 you. Like
Yeah,
I've heard inspiration for 1 green mana is not bad. I guess it's 2 green because you're casting it
yeah.
twice, but
The way I like to look at it is it's a mind rot for 1 green.
sure, yeah. Okay, so Josh doesn't have a painless land. Not that it matters too much to cast this Enchantress. So he's got to play. Okay, so he's going to go for the Wild Growth before the Enchantress. Interesting choice.
Yeah, he could. I think he could have
Oh,
just
he
done
can play
that last
Abeyance
turn.
and then yeah, I think that's what you said. You can play the Sanctum, Abeyance, and then cast the Enchantress.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Ben
So
lets
he
that
has
resolve.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has to let this resolve. Well, he either counters it, so he doesn't actually have to let it resolve. He can counter and prevent the card draw.
true.
But if he's just like, well, I'm just gonna save it for another one and not fight this fight anyway,
Yeah,
um, and Josh just gets a draw card. So
yeah,
it's like a lose lose for Ben.
yeah. Not where he wants to be for sure.
Oh my God,
Oh
he's
no, Ben
missing
is
land
missing land
drop.
3. Yeah,
Oh
2 on
no.
the draw. And the thing is though, like with that hand, he's got turn 2 counterspell, and that's what you need to deal with the turn 2 Enchantress. The problem for
Yep.
Ben is that Josh had turn 2 Enchantress, turn 3 Abeyance Enchantress, thusly
Yeah.
nullifying that counterspell advantage he had, and now Enchantress starts doing Enchantress things. Although Josh, no, he's got an explosion, so he's not done chaining yet.
Yeah. He did just get to clear the top cards of his library, so he will get to see
Fresh cards this
um,
turn,
completely fresh cards next turn. Exactly.
yeah.
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 Yeah. You can see how easily this can get out of hand
Mm-hmm.
for the control deck, right? It's just
Yep.
like the green deck is outlanding you and outdrawing you.
Mm-hmm.
Like how
Yep.
much mana does Josh have right now? So he's got 4 enchantments. So Sanctum is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got 9 mana
Mm-hmm.
and not that many cards in hand, but like
It'll get there.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Doesn't
a
care about this. Yeah.
desperation play for Ben.
Well, he's
He's
not
got to just
counterspelling
get more land.
anything here, right? Like he needs to draw onto some lands. So
Yeah.
replenish
Now, if I were
Guile
Josh,
land. Yeah.
I would just save up enchantments in my hand
Yeah. He can sit around for
and
a
then
bit.
just play draw. Yeah, I'd play draw. I'd play basically just draw go, and then break the standstill, forcing Ben to go to hand size.
Yeah.
Yep, he's
And
doing
he's
it.
doing
Yeah,
it.
I love this. I love this strategy from Josh because he's in no real rush to do anything, and
Mm-hmm.
Ben is just naturally missing land drops. Yeah, now Ben's just going to start going to hand size. So
Teferi's response. Interesting. What does that do against Enchantress? Am I missing something? Oh, it stops the seal
so
cleansing on the Mistress Factories. Okay.
it stops seal cleansing on Mishra's Factory, and then if Ben like steals something and Josh has like a karmic justice, and the Karmic Justice targets a land, he can
You know,
Teferi's
response it,
response
yeah.
trigger and
That's
then
cute.
kill the Karmic Justice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's very cute.
And
Okay.
he actually, yeah, yeah. I think it does target them.
Karmic Justice does target, yeah. Yeah.
No. The response. Let me see.
Oh,
I think
Teferi's
it gets
response does
around.
target. Yeah. It targets the effect, not the card.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So the Oracle text for Teferi's response is counter target spell or ability an opponent controls that targets a land you control.
Mm-hmm.
If a permanent's ability is countered this way, destroy that permanent, but it doesn't say destroy target permanent. I think it doesn't target.
It doesn't target the permanent, no, yeah. It just destroys the permanent if the ability is attached to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it actually kills a Karmic Justice through Sterling Grove, which is super cool tech.
It is pretty cool, yeah.
I've been looking away. It looks like not a lot has changed. Oh,
No, Ben got the
the
standstill triggered, so it looks like Josh decided to just kind of go for getting some cards out. He hit a couple of enchantments off of his Muri's Guile, so he's got some draws he can make.
Yep.
And so speaking of Teferi's response, so this is a fun thing that came up on a Rescue stream a while back when they did them. I attack you with a Mishra's Factory. You cast Lightning Bolt on the Mishra's Factory. I cast Teferi's response on the Lightning Bolt, and then you Wasteland or Lightning Bolt my factory again. The Teferi's response, will I draw cards off of it? Yes or no?
So what's the sequence?
I attack with factory. You bolt. I Teferi's response. You bolt again.
The Teferi's response is targeting
the first Lightning Bolt.
The bolt, yeah. So the factory is not in play by the time it resolves. So the bolt fizzles, and then because the bolt is not a legal target anymore, the Teferi's response doesn't have a legal target, and the Teferi's response fizzles. But
it's actually because it's not targeting a land anymore, so it doesn't matter anymore. So just straight up, yeah, it does fizzle as well. That's true. Or would it fizzle if the Teferi's response?
Okay, so here's the thing. Anyway, so the Teferi's response will fizzle because it targets. If it said something like target player draws 2 cards and then one of the targets was gone, then the other target will still happen. But since it's just draw 2 cards, the target is gone. So the spell fizzles.
Okay.
You don't draw the 2 cards.
So while Josh is playing with all of his enchantments and Ben looks at 2 lands, I'll clarify this a little bit more. So the second Lightning Bolt, the one that's the second one, or the first one that's targeting the land that the Teferi's response is targeting, the land is no longer in play. Thusly, it is no longer targeting a land. So when the Teferi's response resolves above that Lightning Bolt, it's no longer a legal target. It's no longer a valid target to draw cards off of because it's not targeting a land anymore.
You're wastelanding the factory though. So
this is against the first one, not the second one.
Oh, I didn't realize there were 2 bolts.
Yeah, so if there's two removals, so if you remove the target of that first removal spell, like the Lightning Bolt, it's no longer targeting the land, so the Teferi's response doesn't draw any cards. Super niche, but it doesn't happen.
Weird. A weird one.
I try to be. They don't call me Crazy Carl for nothing. But Ben hit his 3rd land drop, so that's exciting.
Yeah, this is like, look at, okay, yeah, we went on a tangent, but look at what's happening in this game. So
yeah, snowball is real.
Josh's board is enormous. Let's see, he's got 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. He's got 16 permanents. He's out permanenting Ben over 5-1. I do love a good underdog story, though. I'm almost rooting for Ben at this point, but
that means a lot coming from you.
I said almost.
I think it still counts as praise.
It would be crazy to see how Ben could come back from this, though. Like, he's got to have like a major sweeper, but he doesn't have those. Like, if he
he has Wrath of God, but Josh has to like play Opalescence, not kill Ben, and then Ben has to play Wrath of God. Which is not impossible, but Josh has been playing pretty tightly, so I don't think that's a thing that's going to be likely happening.
No. Yeah, like Ben would need to have like a cleansing meditation or.
Oh, that card is so sweet. I play that in my Rifter deck. It's such a good card.
In which one?
My Lightning Rift deck. It's just a sweet card against Enchantress, and then you get to get back all of your lightning grists that you destroy.
Yeah.
All right, so Josh is continuing to
So
build up that advantage, hitting those land drops, drawing more cards. He notably only has one Enchantress in play, so I could see from Ben's point of view, like, okay, he's not drawing that many extra cards. Maybe I can come out of it.
well, the reason that he doesn't have that many cards in his hand
Oh,
is
whoops.
because they're all on the battlefield.
Yeah, and he's a second Enchantress.
Okay,
Oh,
so
he's got the annul
he
for
has
it.
to
Let's
annul.
go.
Yeah. It still gets to draw a card.
Yeah, he does.
Now,
Yeah, he does.
oh, he just played 2 more lands.
Yeah.
Um,
He's got no way to win though. Like he has a replenish, but then like a land, so he's just gonna kind of be sitting there looking at Ben doing nothing while both of them do nothing for a little while. Ben does have Counterspell up now. I don't know if he Wrath of Gods is Enchantress. Yeah, he does. Okay.
I think he has to.
Bless your heart.
So this is the problem here, right? By the time the Wrath comes down for the Enchantress is already done.
1, 2, 3, 4,
so
5, 6,
much.
7. Drawn 7 extra cards. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I see too many permanents. Oh my goodness. Sweet sassy Bolassie. That was a Decree of Justice in his hand. Like, I didn't see that.
It's like I'm the Decree of Justice deck now.
It's that
play your
meme.
standstill, sir.
Love it.
The only way that this could have been better is if
good job, Ben.
Waited for Ben to play. Yeah, cool. There you go.
Oh no, the only way this could be better is if Ben had enough tokens to actually have what Josh has in play. But Ben does not have 11 tokens. He has 9. What a scrub. But he doesn't even have 9. He has 8 tokens and then like 1 extra sitting there. I'll have to tease him for that when I see him next.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have 11 soldier tokens from Unglued sitting in their deck box? The answer is most of us.
I think I have like 10. 10 of those. Well, I'm moving over to the Magic Player Rewards ones.
Ooh, those are nice. Yeah, I like those a lot. Those are really cool.
They're also way more expensive, so I'm trying not to be. I'm trying not to be super irresponsible, but
that's fair. That's fair. RK Post makes really good tokens too, though, and he makes them for everything.
Okay, so what he could do here is he should float and then seal his wild growth to like float and then mana ramp himself.
Oh, because he can replenish off it. Yeah.
So he's
Oh, Ben's correcting the token discrepancy.
I thought it was 11. Yeah, there you go.
It was, yeah. Cool.
So they're figuring out the.
All right, so he replenishes back. Changes his presence. Amazing. So he didn't make the optimal play here, which would have resulted in being mana positive. But you know what? I think I can give that one to Josh there. He could have done it twice. He could have done it twice. It would have been so powerful.
Well, he wanted to save the growth so that he could actually like draw off of it.
Yeah, I guess.
So he probably knows the top cards are cards that he doesn't want. So he's putting the trigger on the stack and then fetching in response to get a fresh look.
Yep. Yeah. Fetch lands and Muri's Guile / Sylvan Library is really great combo.
Oh, maybe he drew the fetch because he had the exploration. Okay, either way, I think it ends up working out the same.
Yep, another Enchantress's Presence.
Oh, here we go. So he needs to hit. If he hits an enchantment now, it's on. Oh my god, I think that was a
wave. It was a wave. Yep. Oh, he only drew 1 card. Why did he only draw 1 card? Oh, because he had. Wait. Oh, because that was the Enchantress off of the Enchantress. Okay, there we go. I thought that was no. Now I guess draw 2. Okay.
Lots to keep track of.
He does have the mana to cast Opalescence if he has Opalescence, but he did not.
He drew
big misplay.
Drew a wild growth, so he gets to keep going with the wild growth.
Yep, gets to float a mana. All right, let's see if we get this Opalescence here to close the game out. 1 and 2. That's a replenish, which gets back nothing.
Another replenish. So he bricked.
Yep. I guess he'll just have to satisfy himself with attacking for 11.
Oh wait. I think that's a forest in his hand. Okay, so
yep.
At this point, I mean, that needs to have another Wrath just to not die.
Nope, that kind of spell.
That's it.
Nice. So we look at their sideboarding. Ben brings out the Plows, which would have been really good for Josh if he was bringing in Xantid Swarms. And then some draw spells, humility. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you don't want to play humility into the 4 seal cleansing deck, right? That seems bad.
Can we go back and pause when Ben has all his cards out? I just want to see the rest of the cards that he
Yes, we
had.
can.
Oh, it was only those. It was only
Oh,
those.
yeah,
It
that
was
was
only
it.
the
Yeah.
four.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't
Okay.
bring in crypts or anything
Okay.
like that, so.
Okay.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, I'm assuming he brought in the three annuls and then one Teferi's response.
yeah. 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 Which I think is cool.
He had to have brought in the Aura of Silence, right? That had. Oh, I think he brought in 8 cards, right? Go
Yeah, he
back.
did.
Actually,
Yeah.
sorry, go
That's
back.
okay. Yeah, we can go
I
back
think
a
he
little bit.
brought it. Yeah, so a little bit after this,
Oh. We had
a
to jump
little
around
bit
a little bit.
before this.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oops, and I edited it. Whoops. Oh well. But you good listeners and viewers can go back and watch it. And I'll show Chris later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ben did
Yeah.
bring in a bunch of stuff. He brought out like Factor Fiction, Humility, Plows, an Impulse. And I think he brought in all those cards
I
that
think
you
it's
had
from the
mentioned.
Factor Fiction. It looked like maybe.
Yeah, yeah. So he did the sideboarding we would expect it to. It's just a lot. And then Josh decided to not dane us with his sideboard strategy, which is that's okay. He's allowed to do that.
Yeah. Did we even see anything? Okay, we saw the abayances.
We saw the
We saw the
abayances and the
abayances
decree.
and the decree,
Um,
and maybe one of those seals was like the fourth seal from the
Possibly,
board.
yeah. I think he had 4
That's
seals at the
probably.
end of the game, yeah.
I assume he brings in the Sabo's web and probably brought out his swords to plowshares as well, and
Yeah.
the
The elfin
elephant
grasses,
grasses.
yeah. That's a pretty clean sideboard
Yeah,
there, right?
those.
Like 6 cards for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. That would work out pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, decree. He probably. I would probably bring in the karmic justice, so that would be like a seventh card, but you can
Mm-hmm.
find room for that. Like
You got the
you
worship.
probably take out
Yeah.
worship or confinement. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
both. Yeah.
Well, congrats to Josh. Josh
Yeah.
played tight, and it's really unfortunate that Ben got stuck on mana, and it definitely felt like he kind of like he was just on the back foot like that whole
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
too.
Game 2
And
is
if he
rough.
had just been able to, yeah, he needed. So this is the thing, right? Is like if the standstill had been an AK, I don't know if he had it in his opening, but if he had been able to if that had been an AK, he might have been able to just play that end step once like the coast was clear, and then he
Right.
could have maybe drawn closer into another one. So
Right. No, we'll see what
because
he decides to do in the future. Yeah.
he drew. I think he discarded a bunch of cards after the
He
standstill,
did,
which
yeah.
is unfortunate.
He did. And I think none of them
Yeah,
were
that's
lands.
that's
So as it would have worked out, as it would have drawn out, is he would have not drawn the lands, but um yeah.
so the AK wouldn't have mattered. It would have
No.
actually not dug him through closer to lands anyway. So in that case, I guess the standstill ended up being kind of like
Fine.
less. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it was better. It just ended up being less bad, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. That is often how standstill is. Is it better? No. Is it less bad? Sure.
Right.
All right. Well, that was
Yeah,
an
well,
interesting first
that was
game. Yeah, I like the first game. The second game was a little anticlimactic, but the first game was really good.
it was, yeah, yeah. I really wanted to, I wanted to see Abeyance do work in this match, and we got to see
We
that.
did. Yes.
That was
Yes.
just, and it shaped that entire game, right?
Yes, it did because Ben was not able to stop the second Enchantress. He had the counterspell for it, but he didn't have the way to interact with the Abeyance to then stop the Enchantress when he needed to. So that was really, really good. Really well played from Josh.
Yeah, really well played. Agreed.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the match. And for Chris and myself, have a good one. And we'll see you in the next Enchantress match, if not sooner.
Thanks. Yeah.